Anyway, they built all those pyramids. Chapter 31, December 28, 2099 AD. Final answer. God had been staring into Luke's eyes the whole time. Finally, he said, "Is that your final answer, Luke?" They continued to stare at one another, but Luke was now shaking visibly. God was not. "Yeah, I guess it is, sir," Luke said, his tremor easing. "I had hoped." "No more song and dance, Pop. Are you going to let me out of here or not?" Luke interrupted. God held up his hand. "I had very much hoped." "I don't wanna," Luke interrupted again. "Finish what you have to say, Luke, then I'll answer your question," God said, interrupting back. Luke looked down at the floor, sighed, and motioned God to continue. "I had so hoped you'd change your mind," God said. "I told you I have," Luke sneered. "I had hoped you'd change your mind and support me, your creator, in my efforts to preserve humanity, preserve all the angels, and let peace resume," God said. "Well, I haven't," Luke said. "I know. You'll remember from our past discussion that the only way to preserve any life is for there to be order." Yeah, with you at its head. Get on with it. Are you going to let me out or not?" Luke asked, his disdain mounting. "I did not choose to be God. I am God. Therefore, I must maintain order in the universe, and I will do so." God drew out the last phrase for effect. Luke got the message and nodded. "After I leave here, the captain will set a course for West Central Africa, and then you will be released to the custody of Beelzebub." "Africa? What's the idiot doing in Africa?" Luke said, shaking his clean-shaven head. "Things must be a real mess if they're in Africa. Nobody cares about Africa, not even humans. Did you have something to do with that, too?" "Sure you did. I might have known." God held up his hands. "Bells went there of his own accord." "I bet," Luke said sarcastically. "What is it that humans say? Scout's honor," God said, a slight smile now creasing his weary face. "Whatever," Luke said, holding up both palms. God then continued, "Upon your release, everything my prophets have foretold will come to pass. When the time has come, peace will be restored for good." God now stood. "You're good. Only you're good," Luke muttered. He then also stood. The faces of the two were nearly touching in the close quarters. God held out his hand, and Luke took it. "Goodbye, Luke," God said, "and good luck." "Thanks for coming, Pop. I thought you'd send your kid again. We don't get along too well anymore, you know." God nodded, but kept holding Luke's hand firmly. "So I've got 90 days to get ready for the last battle, the final one?" Luke knew the entire Bible by heart and referred to Revelation 20, verse 3, where John the Apostle stated he, Luke, must be loosed for a little season. "It'll probably take me a little longer than that to get ready for war," God said. He loved riddles, and Luke knew the fact very well. "How do you figure, sir? Revelation 23 says that." "I know what it says, son. Remember I wrote it? Look up Numbers 14:34. God pointed to the well-worn Bible on Luke's desk. The quizzical look on Luke's face soon gave way to a smile. "Goodbye, son," God said, releasing Luke's hand. "See you at Megiddo," Luke said. "I'll be there," God said as he stepped out the door. Luke pulled the door shut behind him, sat down in his chair, leaned back, and stared at the familiar gray ceiling. A broad grin came to his face. He slowly extended his right arm in the air, made the sign of a V, and screamed, "Yes!"